Now, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is because I know a lot of people, when they are going from the transition of being a broke college student to be even becoming a broker graduate student, and then finally from graduate school to becoming an independent practicing clinician that is getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? They may not know what to do with all of the money that they're getting. What is up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Phil Sarpong. This is Phil's Guide to PsyD. This channel is dedicated to all things psychology, wellness, and graduate school. Today we are talking about one of my favorite books that I think every psychology student should read. It is a book about finance, but honestly it's a book that I think in general can be applicable in any type of life setting, especially when it comes to the role of money and how it plays in our lives. Now, in graduate school, we are not taught the basics and the fundamentals of managing money. You know, if you were to want to go into a private practice, most programs are not taking specific courses or books or practicum settings to teach you on the basics of money management and how to run a private practice, and in general, how to run your life when it comes to your finances. Those are mostly things that we might have to learn outside of our program in our personal lives. And I do think that's quite a shame, because money is such a big topic and it's something that all of us should have a basic understanding of. And so the book that I'm going to recommend is one of my favorite books. It is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It is a must read for psychology students. What the author does in this book is that he really does give a really great argument for when it does come to money. I think a lot of us think money is either black or white, but unfortunately we as human beings are not black and white. Many of the decisions that we make are emotional decisions, or even if we're not being led by our emotions are definitely always contributing to the decisions that we make. And if you can figure out your money psychology, honestly, for the most part, you have figured out money, because you have taken the thing that runs control over so many people's lives. And so the book delves into emotions, biases, mental frameworks, and how it actually shapes our financial decisions. Whether it's just basic general investing, saving, budgeting, all of those things are in general probably things that people have already heard before, but it talks way more about your behavior. It talks way more about why you're making certain decisions and tempering your emotions to make smarter decisions. Whether the goal is to get wealthy or financially independent really comes down to consistency. And with consistency, whether that's in investing or in savings, typically with that consistency and with that discipline, you can probably get to the goals that you're trying to achieve. Overall, though, when you combine a little bit of financial literacy with being able to manage your emotions in the context of the psychology of money, he argues for sort of a blueprint of how to really achieve some of the things, some of the financial goals that you may want to obtain throughout your life. And I think he does it in a really great way. So when you break down the principles of behavior, emotion regulation, cognitive biases, all of those things are applicable when it comes to personal finance. And again, the reason that I wanted to bring this up is that so many students perhaps have taken out student loans for their tuition, whether it was for college, a master's program, or even a doctorate program, and are going to have to figure out how to pay off that debt. And thankfully, there are finance programs and repayment plans to pay off that debt. But if you're not in the mindset of even thinking about finances or even thinking about money, or maybe you're already in graduate school and you're not even thinking about a budget, I would strongly encourage you to take some of the first steps to just have an idea of a savings plan, of a budget plan. Reading this book, I think, is a great first step to setting the basic foundation of perhaps some of the things that you should be doing, whether in graduate school and especially after graduate school when you actually get a paycheck. Now, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is because I know a lot of people, when they are going from the transition of being a broke college student to be even becoming a broker graduate student, and then finally from graduate school to becoming an independent practicing clinician that is getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? They may not know what to do with all of the money that they're getting. And even some of the money that they're getting may not even be that much. But what do you do? How do you budget it? How do you make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do? And many of us aren't really even thinking about that step, about what happens when I do get a paycheck. And what I've seen from even a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my peers have even had the same discussion and conversation, that money is probably just going to get spent. And I've seen so many people, when they finally first get their first official psychology job or psychology internship, and the money just goes everywhere. They start spending it on clothes, on food, on vacations. And it's one of those things, they've never really had it before. And so now that they actually have that official paycheck, they just don't know what to do with it. And so, of course, there are a number of YouTube channels out there that really do a good job of talking about finance and talking about money. This was just a basic overall video to hopefully plant the seed in terms of what you might need to think about for your own financial planning and how to go about it, especially in the psychology space. If you have read this book, put it down in the comment section below. I'd also love to know what you think and what your thoughts were about this book. With that, I will sign off and I will see you all in the next video.